It's your girl, Professor Cinephile. And today I'm gonna take you on a throwback journey. Okay, so I just did a couple of interviews for a documentary on some blaxploitation film. And if I haven't made this clear, blaxploitation and horror are like neck and neck for me for my favorite film genres. And I said, you know what? You actually haven't talked much about blaxploitation films. So I decided that I'm going to loop some of these in with the hope that you all will go back and watch these classic films. It's interesting because blaxploitation, to understand what it is, right? So I'll give you a little brief history of blaxploitation. So exploitation as an idea within cinema is basically when there's a popular or trending kind of topic or film that comes out and like the subject matter is so popular that everybody wants to cash in on it. And so they just all go in and they kind of make the same film over and over and over and over to get as much money out of it as they can, right? That happens across genres, right? And that's why sometimes you'll go and you'll see films come out and you'll be like, wait a minute. And there's three other films that are just like this. Like, what are they doing? Well, it's because they're super popular. That's why they keep doing it, right? So blaxploitation was basically it's the same concept, but it's just films that were made about Black people telling Black stories, and they became super popular. We're talking films that cost like $500,000 to $1 million to make, but we're making $10 million at the box office. And if you think in the 1970s, that's a lot of money, So yeah, people were trying to cash in. So that's where we get the term blaxploitation from, right? So there's some folks that stand out from blaxploitation. You've got characters like Shaft, Foxy Brown, Cleopatra Jones, the Mac, Blackula. Those are the figures that a lot of people think of. But there's one that I want to talk about today, and it's a film called Truck Turner. And some of you may have heard of Truck Turner, some of you may have not. So let's go get into it. Spoiler alert, I am going to talk about things that happen within this film. If you don't want it ruined, you want to wait just to see it yourself, stop here and then come back and then, see what my thoughts are. All right, so Truck Turner stars Isaac Hayes, Nichelle Nichols, yes, Lieutenant Uhura, and Yaphet Koto. Yaphet Koto, I believe he was the first Black villain in the Bond series, and he's done a lot of great work. He turned into a bit of a QAnon kind of MAGA type, so we don't know him, but we can at least just acknowledge that he was a pretty phenomenal actor, right? So Yaphet Koto is in this film, Nichelle Nichols is in this film, and at the time, they each are coming after these, she's doing Star Trek, he's doing Bond, and there's this way they come back, like kind of come back home, like, and they're both kind of navigating this. If you watch this and to see Nichelle Nichols, I'm telling you, it is going to blow your mind. Anyway, so Truck Turner tells a story. Isaac Hayes, the famous singer, he was also an actor. He plays Truck Turner. The nickname Truck, his name is Mac, but he plays Mac Turner. And he's basically a bounty hunter. He was once a football player, and he becomes a bounty hunter. And basically, he's trying to collect a bond, but the dude skips bond, like the person he's trying to collect on, they skip the bond. So it becomes this whole thing. This guy named Gator. Gator is a pimp. So one of the things that you're going to see a lot of in blaxploitation, you're going to see a lot of pimps. Okay, that is because at that time in the 70s, after the civil rights movement, after the devastation of the Vietnam Wars draft, there were not a lot of opportunities for Black men, and you could be a pimp, you could be a preacher, right? Or maybe a poet if you were lucky, right? Those were like the limited options that many Black men felt that they had. So this idea of pimps, it was a big thing. So Gata is a pimp, and you won't tell me, you won't convince me that Spike Lee didn't name his character in Jungle Fever after Gata. But anyway, so Gata, they find Gata. Gata, they kill Gata, right? So Gata has a girlfriend, and well, not really a girlfriend, but well, maybe. But Dorinda is played by Nichelle Nichols. She runs the whole stable. right? It's a whole bunch of prostitutes. It's like a harem situation. And they go and it's a whole kerfuffle. They end up killing Gator. Cool. So Dorinda is upset because, like, how you gonna kill my guy, right? And so she basically summons all these pimps to come and offers them money. It's like, all right, which one of you wants to take out Truck Turner? I'll give you money to do this. And then she's even offering, I'll offer you half of my girls, like I'll offer you half of this. And there's this whole scene. It was one of my favorite scenes in blaxploitation ever. There's a whole scene where she's sitting there and she's parading the women and talking about she made 12,000, she made 30,000 last year, she made 27.5, like letting them know how much each of these women was worth.
Your ass belongs to me. I tell you what you can and can't do with it. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I didn't say I was leaving.
Shut up! Now all you whores sit down. I want to talk to you. Anybody thinking about leaving here is going to find my left foot square up their ass. Do you understand it?
Why?
Shut up, you junkie whore! I'm talking to you. And those two bitches that left, they better learn to sell pussy in Iceland, because if I ever see them again, I'm going to cut their fucking throats. We're a family. And that's what we're going to stay. I got important business out there today. And when I call you, I want you to come out there and shake your asses proper. You hear? Huh? Now get out there and make it look good. And Raquel, take that fucking jacket off. Move it.
You making $30,000 at that time. We're talking 50 years ago. $30,000 a year. Hoeing. That's a lot of sex. I'm here for it. Shout out to the sex workers. We always love the sex workers. But girl, that's a lot of... Anyway. So she's doing that. It's a whole thing. So she's letting them know, look, I got the goods. I got these basically saying these women are worth their weight in gold. If you take out Truck Turner, you get half of this, right? All these pimps, none of them really want to do that, because even though they are violent with women, right, they're not really about that life. So there is one person who's willing to do it. His name is Harvard Blue, and that is who Yaphet Koto plays. And so Harvard Blue is a little bit more refined. He's a little more polished as a pimp, right? And he's got goons, and he's dabbling in other things too, but he's got goons. He's got more assassin type goons. He's got he's really about that life. He's like, hey, I'll do it. I'm with the shits. And so he goes, and it becomes a whole thing where he tries to take out Truck. Truck keeps avoiding him. Like, he keeps trying to set Truck up, but Truck stays like one step ahead of him. He ends up killing like other people that as he was trying to get Truck. Truck is like, I'm good. You ain't gonna catch me. Whatever. Long story short, of course, Truck ends up, taking out Harvard Blue. So what's interesting about this this particular blaxploitation film is that it diverges from the overarching narratives of most of them, which is we're going to take out the man, right? They're usually going after corrupt police officers. They're usually going after like European or Italian mobsters. They're usually going up against white people, or they're usually fighting issues of white supremacy. If you think of A Coffee starring Pam Grier, she's upset. She's seeking revenge because her sister overdosed on heroin, and Coffee is upset with how heroin is infiltrating, the Black community. So you get stuff like that. This is really just kind of like, this is some internal pimp culture, gangster kind of money-making thing. Truck is trying to do the right thing. Like, he was once a professional football player. Now he's a bounty hunter. He's still staying above, above board, but he's a lot edgier than, say, a John Shaft. John Shaft is, for all he does, he still has some respectability about him. Truck Turner is kind of on the edgier side of that. He's a decent guy, but he's willing to throw hands if he needs to. So it's really interesting. And I just really love that it's like, it's Isaac Hayes, it's Nichelle Nichols, it's Yaphet Koto, and they're all doing this film. It's a really great film, in my opinion. And that's where the commentary, kind of comes in, that, the way that blaxploitation was treated, as though it is like worthy of dismissal, or, something that you should be embarrassed about if you were in it. It's not right. It's not fair. There were tons of white films that were just like that. Honestly, honestly, there's no real difference between James Bond and John Shaft. Like, come on, But because the characters were black, because they were telling black stories, because they were talking about things that happen within black communities, it gets dismissed. Do I have my critiques of black exploitation? Absolutely. The misogyny is out of this world. A lot of the gratuitous violence against women is out of this world. But there's also violence against men like Foxy Brown and Coffee not playing no games, okay? It's really violent, gratuitous violence, gratuitous sex, gratuitous objectification of women in ways that doesn't even have anything to do with the plot. Like, why is she wearing a bikini to go kill somebody? Come on, like you don't need to do that, right? But that was also part of the lure of it. That was part of the fun of it, right? Ultimately, it was about people being able to get revenge, Black people being able to feel like we could win at things. And I think Truck Turner is a little bit different because there is no real white enemy, right? That is not really in this story. And so it diverges a bit in that way. I'm gonna give Truck Turner, I'm debating between 3.5 and 4. It's not 5. There's no black exploitation film that I would ever give a 5 to, just because of a lot of the issues that I just said. I think that Truck Turner is not as good as some of the others that I would give a 4. So I'm going to give Truck Turner 3.5 hearts. We're going to settle on 3.5 hearts. I want you to watch this film though. It's streaming. I watched it, I believe, on I think I got it on Amazon Prime. I rented it, but also there is a app through YouTube called Screenflix or Screenpix. It's like $2.99 a month, and it gives you access to a lot of classic films. And there are so many blaxploitation films on there. You can also go to Tubi and find a number of blaxploitation films. Just look them up. Some of them are free on YouTube. So check that out. It's a good time. It's a good time, and I hope you all enjoy it as much as I do. I will be doing more blaxploitation stuff. I will, because I just feel like as a genre, it deserves a lot more love and respect. Like there's so much that we have right now that we would not have were it not for the characters and the leading stars of blaxploitation literally kicking the door down, right? So I think we need to celebrate and pay a little more positive homage to blaxploitation. So I'll be doing some more of that, and I'll set up a series so you can just click and watch all of those. All right. Like this video, subscribe to my channel so you get notifications when I have new content up. Like I said, I'm trying to do stuff every week, and I think I'm okay right now. I'll talk to y'all next time. Thank you for tuning in.